Hi, I'm coming to you because I lied and I want to make things right. I went to national training this past week with my business and I took great classes, I met great friends, but in one of the classes they asked the whole group if we were all in, and I jumped up right along with everybody else and I said yes, and I lied because I know that at that time I would never be all in because I wasn't good enough. I lied because I had too much baggage to ever be good enough in my own mind. Too much history, too much crap. On the last day of training, we did a breakthrough challenge, and what we did was we wrote our biggest challenge on a board, and on the other side we put what, by breaking through that challenge, the people that it would affect and how our lives would change. And I wrote some things, and I wrote my challenge, and I went through all the steps, and I knew by breaking that board that the lives of my children, my husband, my mom, and the love of my life, reason for breathing, Nathaniel, I could change their lives by breaking that board. So I went into that room with my board and I was ready to change. And I knew I couldn't go to my team because by breaking that board it was going to make me vulnerable. And by facing my friends, I would allow them to be able to judge, and I couldn't handle that. So I went to the only person in the room that I could find that was holding boards at the time that didn't have a name tag, because I knew I needed to do this with a complete stranger, someone that didn't know me, someone that didn't know of me, and that I could do it with complete anonymity and without judgment. I broke that board. It took me 3 tries because what was written on that board was so deep for me that I couldn't do it the first 2 times. I didn't have the strength to break that board. And I thought by breaking that board that it was going to be symbolic, but all I saw was a broken board. Just one more broken piece of my life in my hands that meant nothing like what it was supposed to mean. On my way home, it hit me about 35 minutes into the drive. It was a 9.5-hour drive, by the way. That it wasn't about that board for me. It was about all the splintered edges that was left behind, because I still did not feel good enough, strong enough, smart enough to move forward. And I knew that I still couldn't be all in. And that's when it hit me that my purpose is not in my business about the parties and the products, but using it as a vehicle to reach out to each and every other broken angel of this world. So if you see my face and you hear my voice, and once you hear my story, is what I want you to be able to reach out to me and let me be your stranger that you can tell your story to, and let me be your cheerleader and your glue to help put your splinters back together. This is compelling me to tell my story, a story that I have kept to myself my entire life because I couldn't tell my family, my friends, everything that was going on in my heart, in my soul, in my brain that was keeping me back. So here it is. I came from a dysfunctional family. I mean, who doesn't, right? We're all out there, millions and millions of us. I had a fabulous mother who would do anything for me, and a father that made himself completely unavailable. Of course, he went to work and provided food and clothes, but his harsh words always made his children feel like we weren't good enough, we weren't strong enough, we weren't smart enough. So that took me into my teenage years that caused me to rebel, because in my heart I knew I wasn't good. I knew I wasn't strong. So that led to alcohol, drugs, using sex like a credit card. And the only thing that led to was more brokenness. It led to a horrible first marriage, 4 miscarriages, because I wasn't good enough to have the stuff that other women had. And it just kept spiraling. I went into the military because I thought that by serving my country that maybe then I could be good enough. I got hurt. Once again, something else failed and they had to discharge me because of my injuries. So in my head, I couldn't even do that right. I couldn't even serve my country right. So next thing I know, I'm homeless and sleeping on a park bench and doing more drugs and drinking more alcohol. And one day, I ended up in the hospital and found out that I was expecting my child, my firstborn, my son, my perfect little child. And I was so excited, and I thought, okay, I'm going to have the one thing that I can love with all my heart, love enough that it's going to heal me. So I bit the bullet and I went back home. And before I got there, I found out that my father, once again, common denominator, stood in the middle of a local restaurant after he'd had a few to drink and made affirmations about myself and my child that no one needs to hear. And once again, I wasn't good enough. My child was born, fabulous, beautiful baby boy. And I knew that I had to do something greater to provide for that child. So I went back to school and I became a nurse. And during that time, my son got sick. We found out that he had a problem from birth. And I thought I was going to lose my child. And I prayed so hard because I was like, God, if you hear me, if you're there, save this child. I know I don't deserve this beautiful child. I know I'm not good enough. I'm not strong enough. But spare him. And he's now almost 26 years old, and his smile could light up a room. But it still didn't fix me. I went on and finished my nursing degree in hopes that if I got enough Band-Aids, enough tape, enough gauze, and that I could fix enough people, that it would fix me. No, there wasn't enough Band-Aids and gauze and tape in the world to fix this broken woman. But fast forward a little, I got remarried to a wonderful man, had 2 more children, started living my life. Things started really looking good. And I thought, okay, maybe I am good enough. And then that one person in my life that I thought could not hurt me anymore because I got away from them, came back and hurt my little girl. And it was my fault. It was my fault because I couldn't keep her safe. I wasn't good enough to keep my child safe. So I had to carry that with me. She's 20 now. All this time. The guilt, the self-hatred, because I'm never going to be good enough to keep my family safe. And then we moved to North Carolina from Ohio, started a new life, moved on. My kids are grown. My oldest is, again, fabulous, doing his own thing. My 2 youngest, they're in college, doing their own thing, doing fantastic. And in 22 years of nursing, that was my identity, my reason for being, because if I could just help those people, I could help myself. I got hurt at work. And all I could think of when I was laying there was to save my patient, because she deserved every opportunity and every chance. And I got hurt bad enough that I should have died. But it didn't matter. It didn't matter if I died that day, because I was already broken. And after that, I found out that with my injuries, I can no longer go back to nursing and that one thing that was my identity, my love. And just one more thing, I wasn't good enough. It's still playing in my head and in my heart, no matter what I do, no matter what I strive for. So during my recovery, I realized that I had to do something different. I had to reinvent myself if I ever planned on having an identity and having the strength to move on. And then I found Pure Romance. Pure Romance is not what you think, people. It's not about parties. It's not about toys. It's not about products. It's about the vehicle that we are given to reach out to each and every woman out there that feels splintered, that feels broken, and using these tools that we have been provided through the company to be the glue, to help put you back together, to help ease those edges. So if you are seeing my face and hearing my voice and you're a broken angel out there, I want you to reach out to me. Let me be your stranger. Let me be your glue, your cheerleader. I want to hear your story so we can start healing together. If you know of a broken angel, I want you to share my video. I want you to give them my information. On Facebook, I'm Wendy Thayer, Thayer. I want you to PM me. Give me their information. If they're not strong enough to reach out, I will reach out to them. Because everybody deserves that stranger that they can tell their story to without judgment, so they can start to heal. And eventually, maybe, just maybe, I can reach out to enough women to make them strong enough that they can heal enough that they can come and take my hand and come on this journey with me, so that together our glue is strong enough and sticky enough that we can reach more and more and more broken angels out there in this world and help heal them as well. I hope that my story has helped you. I hope by giving you my story that you can reach out to me, that perfect stranger, and we can together let the healing begin. Before I get off of here, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart Patty Brisbane, who is the founder of Pure Romance and the Patty Brisbane Foundation for Sexual Health, and my mentor, my sponsor, Beverly, because together they have given me the strength and the courage to finally come out and tell my story, and to reach out and use them and this wonderful company as the vehicle to reach out to you. I guess that's really it. I hope that I've helped to change you some way today, and that I can continue to change each and every broken angel out there, one splinter at a time. And I hope to hear from you soon. I'll make myself available. I'll put myself out there for you. But you got to take that first step and reach out to me. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.